Hello.
Good evening.
How is everybody?
It's not evening.
It's not.
No,
It's
morning.
morning.
It is straight morning. It is Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I'm Jason.
Remember when I'm Sadie.
You're
Sorry.
Sadie. I was like, she's going to introduce herself? No. No idea.
Remember when Saturday morning used to mean cartoons and now it's quilting? That's so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. The only real bit difference for me, though, is that now I have to be the entertainment. So there's no sitting and eating cereal right now.
No, that's true. That's
sitting
true.
and drinking coffee, doing the thing. Look, everybody's saying hi. Good morning, everybody. Hello. So we are
Hello.
Warm N Cozy Quilting. We are in Columbia, Illinois, if you don't know who we are. We are going to talk quilting today.
Yeah.
Some sort of conversational topic. I actually put a poll out in the Quilters Collective last night.
Yes.
A lot of responses.
Love it.
Thank you a lot for that. I love the feedback.
It.
If you didn't catch that, that's fine. No big deal. It wasn't that important. There's no grade.
No.
I'm not grading anything.
And you can leave your comments in the comments.
You can put your comments in the comments and you'll have commented.
And still be part of the conversation. So no worries.
Absolutely. I haven't shut it down and deleted it, so it's all right.
Yeah.
So anyway, look at all the people saying hi. I love it. It's so much fun.
It is.
It makes me feel like we have people actually watching us.
Right? It's nice. I'm like, I am not just talking to myself and you in a room by ourselves.
Sometimes, even if I'm in the room, you're talking to yourself.
Yeah.
It's just fact. Because sometimes I'm just not there.
Yeah.
That happens. Anyway. Oh, Lord. All right. I'm sorry. I'm trying to, organize myself over here. It's not working as well as I need it to. Oh, so you want to say hi to some people that are out there?
Yes, I'd love to.
We got Christy out there. Good morning.
Good morning.
We got Kathleen hanging out with us.
Hello.
We got Julie. Julie's got drizzles this morning. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to get rain today?
Yeah.
Oh.
Scattered showers and anyway.
No, I don't want it.
It's a great sewing weekend.
Right? It is. It's a good weekend to sew. Got Pam out there this morning. Hello. Hello, Kelly Rowland. Get to work.
Be nice.
I'm kidding. Good morning, Jodelle. Good to see you on. Miss Pamela, how you doing? Pamela, good morning, y'all. What does that say? Signed into the wrong video. Well, I'm glad you made it back. It's warm and sunny in Alabama.
Nice.
Love that. Christy, beautiful exploding heart.
I was pieced by the wonderful Kelly Rowland.
Kelly Rowland did that. You know what that is? That is 210 paintbrush solid colors. All of them.
Every one of them.
Every single one of them.
Twice.
Yeah. Because it's like 500 and some odd blocks, and so she used each one twice. So it is absolutely much more pretty in person.
Very cool.
Usually the videos never do it justice, so it's absolutely gorgeous. You had to come and see it.
Yeah, if you want to come in to the studio and see it anytime you're in the shop, let us know. We'd be happy to give you a little tour.
Yeah. Pam asked if we're streaming on YouTube. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Every Saturday morning we stream both Facebook and YouTube. That's a lot easier to go back and find stuff on the YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, hello over on YouTube. Harvest, glad to see you over there.
Hi, Harvest.
Also on with the hellos and good mornings. Joanne, good morning.
Good morning.
Watching you. Hello, Southern Illinois. Good morning, Donna Blackwell. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Jodelle, was gladly trade cartoons for quilting.
Nice.
I mean, that's a tough call for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still like cartoons sometimes. I have found that I'm a lot less cartoony, though.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'll watch a cartoon every now and again. So actually, we love family animated movies.
Yeah.
And so we have the first Friday of every month in my household, in the Newman household, is animated movie night. So I do still watch cartoons semi-regularly, but I think I would prefer quilting too.
I think once the kids stopped paying attention to what was on my TV, I kind of fell away from the cartoons.
Yeah, sure.
But don't get me wrong, I'll sit and watch I got the grandbaby sometimes, and sometimes we watch a lot of Bluey.
Yeah, I hear Bluey is great.
Bluey. We have him this weekend. It's going to be a lot of Bluey all Sunday. Oh, anyway, it'd still be a good time. Good morning, Wendy. Hello, Robin. And good day, Mary. Nice to see you on. Kelly's working hard. I believe you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nancy. Hello, Debbie. And good morning, Jean. Glad to see you guys all on.
Hello.
It's nice of you all to join us this morning. I hope you have your coffee.
Yes.
I'm going to probably need to get another cup even before the shop opens this morning. Whew.
It was a rough one.
Head cold this week.
Yeah.
It has been. I'm done with it. I'm over it. I don't care anymore about it. So I'm going to continue to pretend this doesn't happen. So anyway, yeah. Oh, and Zach says hi for harvest. Hi, Zach. You need to come in and get yourself a machine. Quit hiding and pretending that you don't need one.
Hi, Zach.
So anyway, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, stay out of the head colds. Just they're not fun.
No.
The weather's getting nicer, sort of. Sometimes it'll be nice. Other times it's suddenly cold.
Yeah.
But
That's good. Good for. I tend to swing from
it's good for what?
that the
Wild
weather's
temperature
getting
swings?
nicer.
Oh, that the weather's getting nicer.
that the
I thought you were
weather's
saying
getting
the weather
nicer.
swings. I'm like, what are you telling me?
No. But I tend to be introverted in the winter and extroverted in the summer, so I'm swinging more toward I want to actually go out and do stuff,
Right.
which means my
So that
quilting
makes
doesn't
more
get
sense.
done.
No, it's not going to get done
But-
near as much, but that's okay.
Yeah.
This is the summer slowdown. We typically experience this. Most quilt shops will. Usually June, July, we're going to be like, because you're going to go on, you got graduations, you're going to go on
Right.
vacation, you're going to go do things.
You got
It's gonna
summer
be awesome.
camps, you got all kinds of stuff.
Okay. All these things are going to happen. So yeah, it's going to slow down. But as you go out and do these things, you may find quilt shops nearby that you're going to stop in and check out some
For
stuff.
sure.
So today we're going to talk about picking up the fabric.
Right.
What do you do to do that? How's the best way to handle it? What's your favorite method? This will be a good time. Zach's working on it. I believe you. I got one saved for you, dude. We'll get you quilting before too long. You'll be fine. All right. So, a couple announcements before we get too far into this whole process. I apologize. Get over here to the proper page. Couple things to remember. Number one, as we just discussed, the 210 of the paintbrush. We do have the 210 club.
Yes.
There are some spots available. I don't know that we have the full yard spots available anymore, but the fat quarter spots, we still have a couple left. If you don't know what the 210 club is, it's going to be a monthly subscription box.
10 months.
10 months long. That's all the fingers,
Yep.
as long as you have all your fingers. If you don't, that's okay. We still love you. Each month, you're going to get 20 fat quarters plus a bonus one. So technically, 21 fat quarters each month. Different colors each month. By the end of 10 months, you're going to have all 210 colors in your possession. Now,
Yes.
you don't have to do anything with them. You can put them on the shelf and admire
Mhm.
them.
And they'd be pretty.
They could be pretty. You could take those 10 and you could use the inspiration that we mentioned them for. Like some of them have inspirational purposes.
Sure.
Some are my personal favorite colors. So what do you do with that? I don't know, because I just like the colors.
But 21 fat quarters gives you plenty to make a quilt,
So much.
to just keep,
Right.
to
Choose
you
from
could
later on.
sure you could always combine two different boxes and use that for a quilt. There are lots of different options.
Right. So it's going to start in July. So you have, I really think we're running real close to that. I really don't know if we'll take any more signups after June. Like,
So we
Just
have to
depending.
order all of the fabric and get it in and get it cut and
Right.
folded and prepared for you ahead of time. So we do have to cut it off at some point, but right now we do still have a few spots available, but I wouldn't wait too long.
yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Because the other thing you're going to get with it, you are going to get a color card. So
Yes.
the whole 210 on a card, and they actually use little pieces of the fabric.
Right.
So you have fabric colors. It's going to be awesome. You get that for your personal use forever and ever. You also, during the 10-month time frame, you will get special pricing on all paintbrush solids. So normally our paintbrush solids run $9 a yard. You're going to be getting them for $7.49 a yard
Yes.
for the 10-month period. And you're going to be getting that whether you're local or far, far away. You will get a special discount code that only you will have. It's special to you, that you go on and you buy it from the website and we'll ship it to you and you get it for that special price. You don't even have to come in the shop. It could be Sunday afternoon.
You can still come in the shop.
You absolutely should come in the shop, but you don't have to. So it'll be a fun time.
Yes.
So absolutely just know about that. Information on that is on the website.
Correct.
I should have had that link copied and ready to go.
It's okay.
I failed miserably. Sorry, guys.
Search the paintbrush 210. You'll get
Right.
the sign up.
And you'll find it out there.
Easy peasy.
Mini retreat. We do have that coming up here in a couple weeks. We do have a handful of spots left.
Not too many.
Yeah.
We filled up the classroom. We talked it over. We're like, let's open up the garage space. So we're gonna have you with our long arm studio. We've
Right.
got a group that we've got out there, and we've got a few spots in that second group that we've opened up.
Be a good time. So you can bring in your projects, work on them right before the holiday season or the weekend, before you go running off for the summer and doing things. get some stuff done.
Yeah.
Be a good time to start working on that. Don't forget, if you get all 3 days, it's only $100 for all 3 days to come in and sit and sew. Saturday is going to be from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. You don't have to stay here the entire time.
No.
You can,
Yes.
but you don't have to. Sunday is going to be from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Only so much time to get stuff done. Monday is going to be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Correct.
Lunch is provided Sunday and Monday.
Right.
So
you're on your own for dinner.
You're on your own for dinner. I do not cook. Please don't ask.
Lots of wonderful restaurants here in town.
So
We
many good
also
ones.
have mini fridges, so if you need to bring
And a
your
microwave.
food, we can store that for you in a cold place. if you need it.
Absolutely, for sure. All right. And then I'm going to mention this end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
It's May.
Mm-hmm.
It's Danielle's birthday month.
Bum, bum, bum.
If you didn't know, but Daniel's birthday every year is a big to-do. Ta-da, if you will.
Yes.
So this year, it's going to be Danielle Palooza. We're going to have 3 days of wildly fantastic pricing on fabric and on floor model machines. Basically, I'm ready to swap out my machines, and this is a good time of year to do it
Yes.
so that I can replace them with new machines, give you a good deal on a floor model. That includes my Janome Domestics and my Handy Quilter long arms.
Yes.
So, in addition to coming in and get some great pricing on the fabrics, you can do a great pricing deal on some machines. That's going to be the end of the month. That's going to be dates. We know? Should be
Whatever.
25, 26, 27.
Yeah.
So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
That's for in-store.
In store only.
We'll also have some online stuff going on
We
about
will.
that same time. So I would expect to have, something wild for that Wednesday sale and definitely a good flash sale for that weekend online for our faraway folks.
Yep.
But we've got a big focus on our in-store for that particular weekend.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for more details on what exactly those sales entail.
Yes.
Is that the right words?
Yes, you did it. Nailed it.
Good night, folks. Have a good evening. It's good seeing you. Anyway, hello, Karen, and hello, Vicky, and good morning, Sandy. All right, had some people jumping on and saying hi. I had to say hi to them. All right. So,
Do you want to tell them about the new thing we got in the store this week? That came in on a big pallet?
oh my Lord, it's been a long week, guys. So, you may have seen the post. Maybe you haven't. So, we have started carrying and are a retailer for
Mm-hmm.
proper terms, Laura Star.
Yes.
Laura Star irons are ironing systems. Like, they are incredible.
It's a whole shebang.
It's a whole shebang. It takes your ironing game to another level. I have never seen blocks pressed so flat in my life.
It's
I've
pretty amazing.
never seen somebody be able to take steam to a block and make it flat and not distort the fabric.
Right.
But it's because it uses a double heating system, so it's more of a gas than an actual steam.
Right. It's
So
a
you
dry steam.
Don't get that saturating distortion that's happening with the fabric. It is incredible. If you've never seen a Laura Star iron in action, you need to come in and see it.
It's very cool.
We've
We're still new to it, so we've done a couple of demos,
Mhm.
but a lot of it we're still figuring out as well. So be gracious with us as we're learning all the Laura Star things.
There's a lot to learn, I guess.
For sure, there is.
Mainly
'cause
because
it's like-
I don't have clothing.
Yes.
Because you can use it on things other than just your quilting blocks.
It's like antimicrobial. You can iron your bed. You can iron your. It's supposed to be so much better for preserving your clothes for longer.
Right.
All kinds of other stuff outside of the quilting world
Right.
that we're learning the benefits for.
Yeah. And they have anyway, there's just so much to it. If you haven't heard of them, you need to come see us.
Yes,
Like I said, we'll have demos on those scheduled probably during Danielle Palooza for sure.
for sure.
If not leading up to that, having them once a week. So absolutely worth coming in and checking it out. I've heard from people that have already bought them from us
Hmm.
how much of a game changer it is. My understanding is that Debbie, your mom,
Yes.
made binding the other day, and it was so flat that it was the easiest thing to work with ever when it came to binding.
Wow. And she binds like a machine
All the time.
all the time.
So for her to be impressed, I was kind of
Yeah.
amazed by that as well. So anyway, Laura Star, pretty exciting stuff. It's nice to get into the higher end quality of things and having them available for you guys. And if you know anything about us, Danielle specifically, if she's not sold on an idea, we are not selling it.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So for us to bring them on board here as a service option, a sales option for you, I mean, that should speak volumes for what we felt on how it operated. So
Quilters and crafters know the right tool makes the difference.
huge difference. Absolutely. For sure.
This might be the right thing for you.
It may be. And then we'll get you some information on that if you need it. Good morning, Deborah. And good morning, Susan. Glad to see you guys on.
Good morning.
Thank you for bringing that up because I completely forgot.
It's okay. I got it.
Man, it's been a week. All right. So, moving on. So, last night, I put out on the collective, what is your favorite way to shop for fabric?
Yes.
Okay. There was 3 choices, either Yardage, pre-cuts, or kits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will tell you how that result went if you haven't already looked this morning. Because I know people keep going back and looking at it. That's fine. And if you haven't voted yet, go ahead because I'll tell you the results of that here at the end. The question is, when you shop for fabric, is there a right way to go shopping for fabric?
No.
The answer is no.
There's not a right way.
It's not a right way because there's no rules in quilting. Shauna Decky is not going to come and arrest you. Quilt police are not real.
No.
They're not.
They're not.
I've checked. I've Googled it.
I don't know that we always want to trust that, but in this very specific instance,
Very
you can
specific.
trust that.
You can trust the Google result at this point in time. It's totally fine. So I have to admit that when it comes to going and buying fabrics, when I walk into a quilt shop, I could probably outspend Danielle quite easily, which is insanity. I'm an admirer of fabric.
Yes.
Definitely a collector.
Yes.
I went into a shop yesterday down in, it's Cadet, but outside Potosi. It's Fabric Creations. Phil owns the shop. It's a beautiful little shop. If you guys haven't been there yet, I do encourage you to go check it out. Wow, a selection. Like, dear Lord, so much. And I was really restrained. I only left with 4 yards of fabric.
That's pretty good.
I was very well behaved. But I'm going to tell you, I like Yardage.
Yeah.
I love to buy and shop Yardage. Like, I don't know why. Is there a reason for it? What do you think?
I like to buy Yardage, and I was thinking about this since this was our topic today. And I think for me, half the fun is customizing the quilt to be exactly the way I want it.
Yeah.
And it's easiest to do that if you're buying Yardage,
It's just
in
true.
my opinion.
Yardage comes on a bolt. Do you see this fabric?
It's so cool.
Absolutely gorgeous. This is a brand new line from Northcott. I'm going to tell you,
Light.
is that what it's called?
Yeah, Morning Light is the line.
It is not in the system yet. So I didn't tell Danielle that I was bringing it in here to kind of show off the one.
Teasing.
The rest of them are absolutely just as gorgeous. I would say, think in the direction of Modern Love.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that line from a year and a half or so ago, where it's the pinks and the purples? That same watercolory look, but in blues and greens. Oh my goodness.
And some yellow.
And some yellow in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, for me, seeing Yardage on a bolt, it's a lot better for me to be able to get an idea of what that fabric is.
Mm-hmm.
I can get a feel for the hand, if I think I'm going to like working with it or not. So for me, that's why I kind of prefer the Yardage. Typically, most of our Yardage bolts are 45.
Sure.
When it comes to quilting cottons, they're wrapped on a 45 bolt in half. If you don't know, a yard of fabric is 36 inches
Correct.
from one side to the other, measured along the selvage edge. I don't know why I read that and thought, boy, that's important to put in the notes for today. If you don't know what a yard is,
3 feet.
3 feet. It's 36 inches. That's 12 times 3. Get you. Yeah, that's okay though. We're here to help educate. That's what we're doing here. So,
someone yesterday said we're not really a quilt store, we're a math store, and this was just another.
Oh, that's not a false statement at all.
So
That's
this
true.
was the math store portion of the show.
That was what that was. Okay. So you get a piece of fabric that's 45 from selvage to selvage by 36 inches edge to edge. That gets you your yard of fabric. So some positives, some pros, if you will, visible on the bolt.
Yes.
Love to be able to see it. I love to be able to see it with its friends on the bolt. doesn't always work out, though. Sometimes on the bolt, you don't recognize it because all you're seeing on the shelf.
It's like an inch or two, inch and a half.
Zoop.
Right.
So it's easy to overlook some fabrics that way. And also can become overwhelming because you're seeing all the things. But that's a con that we'll get to later. You can get as much as you want.
Right. So you can say, well, the pattern says I need a half a yard, but I know I like to have extra for oops, or this is going to be pretty in my stash, or I'll use this for another project. And you can say, give me 3 yards.
Right.
Way over.
One of my favorite comments from the survey, the polling from last night,
Yes.
was Sherry Joe saying that she's a fabric snob. That she likes to buy a yard if she likes it, or 3 yards if she really likes it. That's okay. It's okay. It's a real thing.
It is.
Sometimes it's better to be able to get way more and have the extra than to later on figure out what you're going to use it for, and you can't get more of it.
Or if it's one of those pieces that it's like almost too pretty to cut, and you just have to keep it and love it.
Keep at least a yard just to frame up a little bit later on.
To look at and touch every once in a while.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all right. Fabric collection's a real thing. You're okay. Don't feel bad about it. Also, the pros of getting off the bolt is that you can get larger pieces out of it.
Sure.
So, say for instance, you find this large print that you would love to put on a border.
Mm-hmm.
If you get 2 yards of it, you can cut that length of fabric.
Yeah.
And then you can get this whole piece of fabric without having to seam your borders.
Which is very nice.
Which is kind of super nice.
Yeah.
By the way. Which then leaves you enough on the other side that you can use that fabric for whatever piecing that you need to do with all the other stuff. So, something nice about buying yardage off the bolt.
Yeah, especially for those big prints like border, something you'd want to put on the border, those big graphic prints. Nice.
Exactly. Some negatives to bolts and yardage. They're not really negative. They're just mild inconveniences.
Sure.
This is our life as quilters sometimes. First world problems. You have to wait for it to be cut.
Right.
So therefore, you find a fun one and another fun one, and you've got this stack of bolts that you're lugging around the quilt shop. And if it happens to be a particular busy day, you're waiting for somebody to get out the way. So that could be obnoxious.
If you want a lot of variety, then you could get a lot of bolts really quickly.
Really quickly,
yeah.
Because if you're thinking, I'm going to just get a third of a yard of each of these, and you've got 20 stacked up, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. Manageable, but
yeah, if you're doing a 3-yard quilt, it's no big deal.
Right.
Oh, I have to wait for 3 yards to get cut. Okay, fine.
Right.
But if you want, 25 fat quarters cut out of yardage, that's going to take a while.
It's going to take a minute. It is. So you got to plan accordingly for that. So,
for sure.
But that's, like I said, it's a mild con. It's not the worst situation, but it is a little bit. This one I thought of myself is that it's not always in a nice, neat, tidy package. So I buy yardage. And so I then have to refold everything the way I like to fold my fabric so that it stacks semi-nicely.
And so that it goes into your home organization system.
Right. The way I need it to go and stay, and then all the things. So, I don't know. Is it really a problem? Not really.
Not really a problem, but something to consider if you're somebody that, has a very particular way that you organize at home. Or maybe you're not organized at all and you're like, this goes into the bin of doom and I'll never see it again.
The bin of doom. I love this. To the doom with you. I'm done with it. Yeah, that's fantastic. I think I need to get a bin of doom at home.
I have a bin of doom. This is real life because I have not organized my fabric stack. It's semi-organized, but
how organized can it be if you've already acquired a bin of doom?
I have bins for things that are specific projects where I already have this is all the fabric and the pattern. Then they go in a different place. But if I don't have a project planned, then it goes into the bin of doom.
Okay.
It needs help.
It may just be it's a bad choice of words because
it's great,
is there like a pit of fire below it that
No. It's really dramatic.
That is kind of dramatic for fabric.
But it is fun because then I forget what's in there and then I get to go through there every so often and I'm like, oh, I get to shop my own stash. I'm like, I forgot I had this. This is beautiful.
I'm glad I bought that. It's like a surprise for future Sadie.
Okay, it is.
Gotcha.
Best. See, I love bins of doom.
Oh, great.
Thanks, Harvest.
That's awesome. Other good information to keep in mind when it comes to yardage. sometimes you may be buying Yardage because you have a pattern in mind already.
Sure.
But it works really well if you don't have a plan already.
Right.
So you're coming in, you're going in to visit the shop. You've never been to it before. You don't know what to expect when you walk in. And you see a line of fabric that your local quilt shop doesn't carry. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. We try to carry a lot, but we're not going to carry everything. It's impossible.
There's so much.
I found stuff from the same brand designers that we carry here in Phyllis's shop at Fabric Creations that we didn't get that line. So I was able to get some of that, and it's fantastic. So buying Yardage is going to help you grab yardage of it, a yard or two. That way you can find something for it later. I'm going to say that what I bought yesterday, there's no rhyme or reason to it, other than I liked it. Sure. So one was a batik, which doesn't really match any of the colors I currently have. One was Cafe, because Cafe, I mean, I don't need a reason. Don't judge me. The other was a more modern material, BioGeo. Yeah. We had a couple pieces from that line. We did it like a little tester, see how they go, and they didn't run out of here. No, I stuck around a while. Used it for backing on a quilt, and it was super awesome. But I kind of, when I walked in, she had a quilt using it. I'm like, oh. So I've got like, anyway, it doesn't matter. I got some of that. So they really don't go together, any of them. No. But it doesn't matter. I'll find something for them. It'll be fantastic. Yeah, so that's always a nice thing about buying Yardage. You have the freedom to do whatever you want to do with it. And they can kind of translate to many different projects later on. Right. You also have the freedom of prepping your fabric however you want. Right. If you're a pre-washer, you can't pre-wash anything beyond that. Like kits and pre-cuts, you're not washing those. That's not happening. You're not starching those. If you do, you may end up in trouble. But Yardage, you can do that. You have the freedom to treat that however you need to. Sure. Which is kind of a super nice positive I forgot to mention earlier. Oh, yeah. The other thing about Yardage, sometimes new quilters, it's not an age-based thing. It's just you're new to the hobby. Buying Yardage is an intimidating thing because... For sure. What am I going to do with that? So this has actually been my goal for the year, is that when I first started quilting, I pretty much exclusively bought pre-cuts. Nothing wrong with buying pre-cuts. No, pre-cuts are great. But I was like, I really love this whole line. I will buy this pre-cut. But I didn't buy coordinating fabrics to go with it. I didn't have patterns in mind. So I have all of these beautiful pre-cuts for lines that are eons old that I can't get the coordinating fabrics anymore. So my goal this year is to try to use up some of those pre-cuts that I bought that are in my stash that I don't have a plan for. Right. So that's where getting comfortable with the time of doing this, you become more comfortable with the Yardage. When you walk in, you're like, I can get Yardage that I know what I'll do with it. Right. The pre-cuts are great when you're not sure where you're going to go with that. So, segue, pre-cuts. 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 Let's talk about pre-cuts. What are pre-cuts? Pre-cuts are all over the place. Actually, Moda is credited with the first commercially produced pre-cuts. They trademarked the jelly rolls, layer cakes, honey buns, all the ones that you guys all know by name. They've definitely become a trade name. If somebody says, oh, where's your jelly rolls? Even if I cut them in-house, I technically can't call them jelly rolls. Right. And I won't, because I'm not going to infringe on that trademark. Thanks, but no. We don't need Moda mad at us. I don't need Moda mad at me, and I don't want to deal with Moda's lawyers. I'm sure they're fine people, but I don't need to battle them in court. But anyway, but they started them commercially, and I think they did a wonderful thing for a lot of people. Yes. It is great to be able to get a line of fabric that you like the way it looks, but you don't want yardage. It's already pre-cut and ready to go. You know, these type of things are fantastic. What else I didn't grab any of my 2.5-inch strips. That's okay. That's fine. No big deal. So Moda's credited with the first commercial pre-cuts. Danielle of Cozy Cuts are going to be the second biggest thing in pre-cuts. Yes. Cozy Cuts, because you need the better pre-cut. TM. How'd I do? Did I sell that? It was nice. That's great. I tried. But anyway, the whole goal of the pre-cut is, again, just being able to get a selection of fabric and just grab and go. There are some pros and cons to pre-cuts that everybody should be aware of. Danielle's pretty adamant about this one, and she really, really wanted me to like channel her during this section. I'm gonna back it off a little bit though, because it was intense.
Okay.
It was intense. Anyway, that's okay. We'll get there though. Pros. Here we go. Are you ready for all of these?
I'm ready.
They're an easy way to get an assortment of fabrics that coordinate well.
Correct.
Obviously. I mean, look at these.
Well, and you think about the fact that, an artist has come up with an entire collection.
Right.
They have intended for these collections to all work together.
Right.
Everything that is in the collection will work with all of the prints. So if you love an entire collection, getting a pre-cut is a great way to have the whole thing without being in it for a ton of fabric.
Right. So effectively can be almost a little bit cheaper, especially if you're figuring there are a lot of shops these days that based on their operating system, the point of sale system, it's becoming more and more common for shops to only cut either half yards or whole yards. They usually don't do in between cuts anymore. We will. I'll cut you to the inch, whatever you need. I don't care. Sure. My system can handle it. But some shops don't. And that's just the way that the world is going with technology. It's annoying, but whatever. But that said, if you need a quarter of a yard of this and a 30 yard of this, and this shop only does half yard cuts, you're going to eventually spend a little bit more to get the fabric cut, which is a little bit more than you need. This isn't necessarily a bad thing because it gives you room for oops and, mistakes that could happen, a little bit more to play with later on. But, having a pre-cut already established, this is a roll of 2.5 inch strips. It gives you all the fabric you need with the variety, plenty of stuff to work with. That said, patterns are specifically written to work with pre-cuts.
Right.
Pam said the same thing. There's a ton of patterns and books out there. Yeah.
And if cutting is not your favorite part, having it already somewhat cut, whether you're buying like 5 inch squares, 10 inch squares, 2.5 inch strips, having them already to at least that stage is a huge time saver for some people.
Right. And that's kind of the biggest part that I got for the pros for them is that they're easy to start working with.
Yes.
You don't have to take the time to take your 4 yards of fabric because it's gorgeous and I bought a 4 yard piece of everything and then cut down what you need. But you can take it out of that package and start working with it. There's no major prep that goes into it. But on the flip side, there are cons to them. So, a lot of the times, the companies will cut them and they will be real close to what they say they should be.
Right.
If they're pinking sheared, which Hervis already mentioned, she's not a fan of them being pinking sheared. A lot of times they say that you should measure from the top of that pinking, from the top to the bottom, like so the top of the points. I've heard from far too many people that 10 inch square is more around 9 3/4.
Right.
If your pattern calls for you to start with the 10 inch square and you're already below that 10 inch, that's a problem. That doesn't work for everybody. Now, the problems with that is that because pre-cuts are so easy to pick up and go, these are a big positive thing for newer quilters.
Absolutely.
This is the part that infuriates Danielle. Because what happens is new quilter comes in, they find this amazingly fat quarter bundle, and they love it. This is packaged by us, so I can assure you each one of these are slightly larger than 18 by 20 because we don't want to ever short anybody on fabric.
Right.
But you get home with that or your 10 inch layer cake that you bought prepackaged from a distributor, and it's less than what it should be. If you're new, you don't understand that possibility. So you start working with your fabric. All of a sudden, your blocks aren't really matching up. Your seams are a little weird. Your blocks are a little wonky.
And you're blaming yourself.
And it's all you. You did it all wrong. I can't believe I did this.
No one needs that.
That's not fair to you because you didn't realize that this was the problem.
Right.
So this is Danielle's adamant. She's mad about it. And for fair reason, because I don't want my customers to ever feel I ruined this because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
It's not you all the time. It really isn't. Sure, new people, yeah, we do things, we do silly things. It happens.
And you learn along the way.
You learn along the way.
Figure out your way, but
you got to give yourself a little bit of grace, especially if you're new and you're watching this and you're like, I've made a quilt with pre-cuts and it turned out terrible. It may not have been you.
No.
So, just by the way.
And we also have people who've been quilting for years who love pre-cuts. It's not that they're exclusive to new
and they run with
new people.
Awesome. But they also know how to deal with them if they're not properly sized.
Sure.
Because over time you learn that and you work with it and you learn the skills and techniques to deal. That's why these have become kind of a big favorite. This was actually, Deborah mentioned in the survey, she said, why weren't cozy cuts listed? What happened was, I figured they fall into the pre-cut category.
They are pre-cut.
They are pre-cuts. But I also determined that everybody that voted for pre-cuts were voting for cozy cuts.
Oh, okay.
So if you voted for pre-cuts in the survey, it's cool. You voted for the cozy cuts. Now, I know that's insanity. But if you have a pattern that calls for 48 10-inch squares, and you buy a layer cake, most layer cakes only have 40 to 44.
Right.
So you're already behind the 8 ball on the number of squares you need.
Right.
With 12 pieces at 11 inches wide, you can absolutely take these, you can starch them, you can prep them, and then have 48 10-inch squares, which is really nice to be able to make that decision yourself. You're not pinking shared. You're not going to have a shortage of fabric. You have what you need to work on that pattern. Also, you can turn them into 2.5-inch strips, which works well for any pattern that calls for 2.5-inch strips.
Yeah.
So, this is really, I'm not saying next level, but I am saying next level. That's what I'm saying. Having the ability to really work with your fabric is going to make a huge difference in your life. So if you haven't tried these yet, I strongly encourage you to give them a shot. We'll set them over here now because they make a lot of noise. All right, what did Deborah say? 5x5, 4-inch squares. Oh, no. Dear Lord, what happened to poor Deborah? Look at these numbers she's putting out there. A 10x10 was 8 or 9-inch square. That's...
Oh, she's saying she was given some pre-cuts, and these were the measurements. The 5-inch squares were actually 4 inches. The 10x10s were actually 8 or 9 inches.
Wow.
And she had to cut them down into smaller squares to make it work. Yeah, sometimes that's what you have to do.
Yeah, and that's not always fun. So it does happen, and it's not all of the manufacturers that are out there that do this. It's not. I'm not saying all pre-cuts are bad. Just know there's always that off chance possibility.
Correct.
That it could happen. So go into it cautiously.
I tend to find better luck if they are laser cut and if they're not pinking sheared.
Right.
Then those tend to be the ones I want to buy.
Yeah.
Or fat quarters, because they're just universal and...
Right. So when it comes to fat quarters, this was Danielle's example last night. So if you come into my shop and you pick up this here fat quarter, if I take this and I measure this and it's somehow any less than 18 inches wide by 20 inches, I feel that I owe you a different fat quarter.
Right. So
that's us and our material. She's like, why can't they stand by the same standards? It's a good question, major fabric companies. Why won't you? You think they're actually watching?
No.
I don't think they are, but that's okay.
They don't quite have the level of quality control that like a small quilt shop.
No, they probably don't.
5 employees.
They probably don't. Right. Yeah, that's probably a number of people situation. So you should TM Cozy Quilt. I probably should. The only problem is that I don't understand trademark law very well.
I'm pretty sure that when we say TM, that means it's trademark.
Is that because
that's how it works?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It should be.
I have verbally said TM, so therefore it's trademarked. All right, now.
Sorry.
I did it.
Good luck.
That's all the bureaucracy needed. I said TM. I called dibs.
Was that mine?
Yes.
I said TM. TM with a circle around it. Oh, wait, that's copyright. TM's little up in the corner. Yeah, I actually looked into it, and it's not a quick process, but I probably should. So anyway, yeah. So that's pre-cuts. Anybody got questions on pre-cuts? Also, don't be afraid to throw information out here like you guys have been doing. I do love the feedback and the input while we're talking here. It makes it more fun for us. So yeah, let's see here. Cons. I covered all the cons. Can't starch or pre-wash for sure. See my notes here where Danielle said they're big fat liars. That was an aggressive Danielle stance. It's okay. It's just be aware. That's all. Let's see here. Other information. If I cut a fat quarter, I told you guys that already. That's really it for pre-cuts, I think. Okay?
Okay.
Right. You good?
Good.
All right. Let's move on to the last and final set of possibilities. Quilt kits.
I love a quilt kit.
Previously known as kit quilts. That was fun to learn. Around
Oh.
1900s is when they started becoming a thing. It was actually kind of wild, the information out there on it. There was a gal there was a large show back in the 1930s.
Okay.
They did their quilts all hung up and everything. And of all the quilts that were displayed, there were 4 basic winners, and she owned 2 of them. And by the way, she happened to also be a judge. I'm not saying it's shady, but because they won, she also had kits coincidentally available of what she did so that she could sell them. So really, these things have been around for a really long time. They're actually...
It sounds like a smart lady.
It sounds like a really intelligent woman that really decided, I'm going to sell my things and make money while doing it.
Heck yeah.
So they've been around for a long time. They used to be kind of scoffed at because, you're using that pre-made kit. You're not using your own creativity. But they've really kind of taken off. They're really kind of a staple in any quilt shop. You walk in a quilt shop, if you don't find a kit, it may not be a quilt shop. It may be a candy store. Just be aware. That was exaggeration. So anyway, there are pros and cons to your kits. Not a ton of pros and cons, but they are existing. The pros to them, look at this guy. Who needs some patriotism in their life? This is a brand new kit that we just got in.
I love it so much.
It's Freedom Parade kit. This is from... who's the line? Is it Northcott line?
Mm-hmm.
There's a panel. There is a red truck on that panel with an eagle.
So cute.
I mean, it screams America.
So this is the Stonehenge Stars and Stripes 11th anniversary collection from Northcott.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
And yeah, they have brought the red truck into Patriotic, which I think is wonderful.
About time.
Yeah. So it definitely has that like old school Americana feel. It's nice.
I do love that.
Perfectly sized for Quilts of Valor.
Yeah, I didn't actually find the size on that right away.
Yeah,
so
60 some odd by 80 some odd.
It's a good size.
Yeah.
That's ideal for a QOV then.
Yeah.
So we do have those in store now, and we do have some yardage left of it. Real pros to your kits. All the fabrics are there. You have everything you need. You don't have to guess.
It's very grab and go.
Right. You get it. You're like, ooh, I like this. Zoop, done. Okay. Sometimes they include the pattern.
Right.
More often than not, they do. Which, again, you don't have to think about it. You just got it. You're going on retreat. You need a project to work on, and you don't want to spend the next 3 days planning something. You got kits you got to work on. Grab them. There you go. You got projects for the week. And it's good for just a quick project. If you need something made, just because you feel like you've been in a slump, grab a kit.
And some people really struggle with the visualization of customizing a pattern.
Right.
So they see a pattern, they see the picture on the front, and that's the way they can see it. They can't picture it in a different colorway or in a different collection.
Yeah.
And so if you're someone like that, getting a kit is nice because you know everything in there coordinates.
Right.
You know that it all goes together, and you know what it's going to look like in the end.
Right.
It's like foolproof.
Right. It should be already go. What you see on the picture is what you're going to get.
Right.
And I never have been able, I'm not one of those people that sees a pattern and says, oh, I have to do it that way in that colorway. I'm immediately looking at it and say, okay, I'm going to get rid of that color. I'm going to replace it with this color. I am that person.
Sure.
I have no problems doing it. It doesn't mean I know what I'm doing, but it doesn't always work for everybody.
Right.
So it's nice to be able to have it all preset, ready to go. Like Pam says, the kit colors are decided already, and it's a great gift, which is also a good point. You don't have to guess on whether or not your friend Sally's going to like this kit. She may not like it necessarily. She can gift it to somebody, though, afterwards. So it's a double gift.
Right.
It's not a re-gift if you've made the quilt. Somebody gifts you the kit, you make it, you gift the quilt.
Right, because then you're gifting your time and labor.
Right, exactly. Susan, right. So this goes into the cons of the kits. You're limited generally. You see this guy right here? You're getting what's there. Generally, there's not a second colorway.
Right.
You have what's available, and that's usually it. There's been the occasional one where there may be a secondary colorway available that you can pick from, but usually that's it. Also, like Susan just said, there's no room for mistakes generally. They don't usually
Not
excess the
generally.
fabric in them.
Yeah.
So if
You may have some left over, but miscuts are scary when you have a kit because you might not have the fabric to cover it, and you might not know how long this quilt kit has been out and how long this fabric collection has been out.
Right.
And it might be difficult to find fabric to replace, especially if your kit goes into your bin of doom.
Right. If it just goes into,
years.
I'll get to that eventually. That could be potentially a hazard for you. But that's also, if you set it aside and you come back to it later, then maybe your skills in quilting have gotten better.
Maybe.
So maybe you won't need a oops package.
Right.
Maybe. Cross our fingers, hope for the best. I have a quilt. I need a 2.5-inch square to finish. Oh boy.
I'm heartbroken for you, Susan.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine. Could you get to the last and it's like having a jigsaw puzzle? 1,000 piece, 10,000, and you just have this. I just need that. And I don't know where it went. Oh, I'd burn the house down. I couldn't imagine. That'd be terrible. Pam says 100 quilt blocks so long. It's been great on choosing fabrics to create blocks. Yeah, taking classes and doing something generally out of your comfort level or comfort zone is great for learning new skills and techniques.
Yes.
This 100 block that Danielle's doing, and that's why Danielle's not on video today, is I've heard a lot of positive responses from people on that. She's given a lot of great information. Well worth the time and effort. So
yeah, it's been a fun challenge. Danielle's sewing 3 quilts worth. I'm cutting out one, and my mom, Debbie, is cutting out one. So I've been cutting along with everybody in the 100 block.
Right.
Yeah, it is kind of fun to get to focus on auditioning different fabrics. Do I like these together? Do I like these together? How do I want this block to look? So if that's not something that is your strong suit, getting to practice that with 100 tiny blocks will make it a little bit easier for you, hopefully in the long run.
Right. And the other thing about that is that those 100 blocks, I mean, that's a lot of different colors to choose from.
It is.
A lot. It's its own little challenge there. So Deborah likes when quilt kits are made in-house and there's extra fabric available.
Yes.
It's always so nice. So I can't think of the last time we got something that was actually already pre-kitted and we didn't have the yardage to go with it. I think most of the time when we have kits, it's cut from the yardage that we got, so that way we have a little bit more control of how many kits we have.
Generally, yes.
So it helps to be able to have that. So like if you see a fabric in there, some kits include binding. Most often they don't include backing. So if you have a fabric in there that you really like and would love for the backing, when you buy the kit, I would encourage you to kind of plan that direction,
right,
or at least be thinking about it. So if you go off on your adventures this summer and you stop into a shop, one you've never been to, and you see a kit you've never seen before, I would consider looking for a backing idea for that. Just something to keep in mind. That way you're not left out in the cold when it comes to, time to match stuff later on. Pam says usually kits are generally not in the size she wants to make. Pam, most people don't make king size quilts. That's just a common thing. I'm so sorry. She likes big quilts.
But that is a good point.
Yeah.
If the kit is made for a twin size and you're like, oh, I really love that, but I need to be queen size.
Right. It does not work as well.
That doesn't work.
Because you're not going to have the fabric there to oversize it yourself.
Sure.
So, yeah, again, there is that side of the downside to the
It is limited.
kits. It is limited, and exactly what you see is what you're going to have. So, yeah. All right. So, the results of the vote. Let's see here. I'm going to slip over here to this page and then over to here. All right. So, I'll click on this button right here. Wow. Nice. How many votes did we have all together? I had 76 votes.
Nice.
It's a good amount of people responding. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. I'm going to click over here on this button here. So, with 50 votes, most common thing people prefer is their favorite way of buying in the shop, yardage.
Nice.
Again, I think what it comes down to a lot of the times is, again, it is a comfort with what you're doing and having a little bit more control of what you're going to do with that fabric.
And a little flexibility.
A lot more flexibility available for that. So, absolutely. And looking at who voted for that, I'm going to tell you a lot of that has to do with just knowledge and having time to do that. So, it's fantastic. Pre-cuts. A lot of people for pre-cuts. 18 voted for pre-cuts. Some people may have voted twice or all 3 times. It's fine. It doesn't matter to me. But again, pre-cuts, they're pretty popular out there as well. What surprises me is that kits, I only had 8 people vote for kits. I really expected a little more on the kits, but that's okay. It doesn't mean it's any less. It's just what you prefer.
Sure.
Again, you know what you're looking for. You walk in. It's just nice to be able to grab and go and know what you're going to have. So, well, it's fun. I do enjoy that.
One other downside to kits that we did not discuss is if you get your quilts appraised, and it is a kit or a block of the month, it will tend to appraise lower because it is not as one of a kind.
Oh.
That is a factor in quilt appraisals. If you are someone that enters into a show or gets your quilts appraised, it's another thing to keep in mind.
That's a good point. Very valid. Very valid. All right. Nice. All right. Well, let's see here. What other information do I have for you today? I don't think I have a whole lot. I think that was the majority of it.
May is free fabric month for our loyalty people.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it is.
This is a good reminder to come in and see us and get your free yard of fabric.
Did you get that loyalty card this year? Did you not get one yet? Yeah, well, you could still come in and get it this month and still walk out with a free yard of fabric. You could do that. Absolutely. What do we got here? Susan asks, I wonder how this would match up with people who go and select their own grocery, curbside, and delivery. Huh.
There could be some correlation there. I see where your brain's going.
Huh. Well, that could be a fun little side jaunt information. I probably don't know that I'll get to that one, but maybe we'll have somebody that can do that for us. That'll be fun. Go do some research. Put that on your list of things to do. List of things to do. Go on and just add that to your list. But anyway, I think with that, I really don't have a whole lot more. I do need to go get ready for the store to open up. Don't forget, we're going to have the flash sale on Monday.
Yep.
9 a.m. Runs all day on the website. I know Daniel's going to put something wildly crazy on sale. Wednesday's going to be our live sale, as always, 6 p.m. We're back to our regular time this week. No sudden surprise band concerts. Yeah, kids sometimes. And then we're back next Saturday because always every Saturday.
Always every Saturday.
All right.
Here to have coffee with you.
Absolutely. All right, guys, it's been a good time.
Thanks
We're going to get out of here.
us.
We'll see you soon.